बच्चे को इंसाफ मिले और मुझे कुछ नहीं चाहिए। एक गलत इंसान ने एक मेरे बच्चे को मार दिया।
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in here to the Breaking Ground. I wish I could say good evening to you. You know, it's one of those days where you realize that human life, your and our lives, has zero value. It has zero importance. For a moment, you know, as we've seen this entire video that has come in from Gurugram, that is just next door to the national capital, and we'll play out those videos because these are videos that always tell us what is the value of human life and how easy it is to cock a snook at the system if you are perhaps someone high and mighty in the system. This is a video that a lot of you have been talking about, so we decided to put our focus on this. I don't need to tell you much about what has happened, but there is a 23-year-old Akshat who dies. His only fault is that he was riding his bike, and he and his friends used to do this almost every Sunday. They said that this was, you know, our breakfast routine. We used to travel, take our bikes, go and have breakfast, come back home. It was one such day, this Sunday, close to about 6 a.m. in the morning. This is where you have a Mahindra SUV that comes in zipping across on the wrong side. A lot of times in life, you know, when you're driving on the roads, you think we must be safe. We are very cautious, wear helmets, wear your safety gear, wear your seat belts. But what do you do if you encounter someone who's riding this SUV? His name is Kuldeep Thakur. What do you do if you encounter a Kuldeep Thakur? You can die. You can die in spite of having no fault of yours. A lot of people today are questioning the bike riders also. They are saying, look at the speed of the bike. But does that absolve the guilt of Kuldeep Thakur? This man, ladies and gentlemen, already has secured a bail. He is out. There are charges that were slapped against him, charges that are bailable offenses. So the story is a story that has multiple infinite layers. I want you also to spend a moment again as we breathe this entire video. Just later on the show, we'll be joined by Akshat's friend, who's also the complainant in the case, who shot this entire video also on his GoPro camera. He never thought that this is a video that's going to be played on news channels. Why? Because his friend will die during this accident. Take a moment to watch this entire video and what happened. So, you know, all of us are just one rash driver away from death. Just one rash driver is all that it takes to ensure that this is the end of your life. Just think of this entire situation. Anyone could have been riding that bike, and anyone could have died. Let's bring up the top 5 questions as we'll continue to unravel the story, because the story has struck a chord, and rightly so. This has infuriated all of us. It has shocked all of us. The first big question, a 23-year-old Akshat Garg is mowed down. The accused Kuldeep is on bail. Think of this. You have a 23-year-old who dies. The accused is on bail. Does that tell you that this is the value of human life? This brings us to our second question now, that's up on your screens. The police claim that the wrong-sided driver, his name is Kuldeep, he did not even have a driving license. Can you believe that? He did not have a DL. How was he driving this? How was he behind the wheels? We do not know. Was he not caught before? There is also a lot of chatter about the fact that he has multiple challans under his name again for wrong-sided driving. How was he allowed to be on the streets then? Was he never caught? Was he never, even punished for that crime? This is a third question that you see on your screens. The accused Kuldeep has managed to get a bail, ladies and gentlemen, right from the police station in less than 60 minutes. So he is taken to the police station. There is a Thana bail concept in the country because the police then slaps charges which are bailable offences. And you get a bail. Is that true? We want to know from the cops. This brings us to our next question. Was the accused Kuldeep under the influence of drugs/alcohol? Normally, whenever an accident like this happens, this is the first SOP, the standard operating procedure. You get the driver tested for drugs, whether he's under the influence of alcohol at the time of the accident. Now, sources tell us that all these tests were not done because he gets a bail, he goes back home in just 60 minutes. So why? Why did that happen? This brings us to our final question now that we'll see on your screens. Is there an attempt to cover up in this case? There clearly is one. But who's wanting to protect the accused Kuldeep? Why has he been given the VIP treatment in the entire case? These are questions, and at the moment, I'm joined by Akshit's friend. We spoke to him a little while earlier also. He says he's devastated. And, I'll call you Akshit's friend. And I thank you for your time here on Times Now. We extend our condolences. You've lost your friend for no fault of his. When you look back at what has happened, Akshit's friend, what would you want to tell us?
I would like to tell this to the general public that these rules, these traffic rules, they are put in place for a reason. And I think before the administration, it's us, the general public, who need to take this responsibility that we are never disobeying these rules because, usually you get away with a penalty, but sometimes it might cost someone their life. It's not just a person's life, it's a family that gets destroyed if the breadwinner of the family is the one losing their life.
Absolutely. And, I'll ask you one last question before I let you go. We also heard the mother. The mother is devastated. The mother says that tomorrow it could be anyone in the place of Akshit. It does not matter. But tell me something. The accused in the case, apparently we are learning that he did not have a driver's license. Neither was an alcohol or a drug test even conducted on him. Are you hopeful of justice? What happens next? What have the cops told you so far?
Okay, Deepthi, we are very much hopeful of justice. I really believe that the evidence that we have is going to help us to bring him to justice, to bring justice for Akshat. For now, I would say police has not been showing that much interest in this case. I think because the investigation officer was made aware on the very same day, right after the accident, that there was a rider behind Akshat who had recorded a video of this incident, and I showed it to the police. But it was day before yesterday when, for the first time, someone from the police station reached out to me and asked for it. So that's, okay, you are collecting evidences after granting bail to the accused. There is some sort of oversight there. And I think they should take more responsibility because if you have seen the stats, within Delhi NCR region, 1,500 people die every year.
Yes.
Specifically because of this reason, wrong side driving. And if there are no examples set, if there is no strong punishments given to people, there will be no example set and people will continue to lose their lives like my friend Akshat did.
Absolutely. May his soul rest in peace. Akshit's friend, thank you so much for speaking to us. We look forward to, staying in touch because this is an issue that has echoed with all of us. And we really hope and pray that there is justice. As I thank you, I will quickly take this moment to also get in our colleague Priyank, who's been standing by. He's been looking at all the investigations in the case. He's live with us. Priyank, a lot of unanswered questions. You've just heard Akshit's friend also speaking to us earlier, speaking again now. What is the status of the investigation and how is this that, a person loses his or her life and the accused manages to get a bail? How does that happen?
Because, Deepthi, first of all, I would like to, thank Pradyuman because he had that GoPro camera and he has highlighted whatever has been spoken time and in detail by people, that there are individuals who lose their life and the police is certainly, focusing on the sections of the Motor Vehicle Act. But after this footage which has been shared by Pradyuman, which we have been highlighting on our platforms, the fact of the matter is that Gurugram police have finally decided that they will be adding more stringent sections of BNS, which is Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita. And what we are learning that a 7 p.m. deadline has been decided by the police for the accused to provide his driving license. If at all he fails to do that, then certainly, Deepthi, there will be section of BNS 105 which can be added in this FIR, which is a culpable homicide not amounting to, I beg your pardon, amounting to murder,
yes.
where the time period of the total, jail term is 10 years. I'll tell you why. Because so far, the sections which have been added in the FIR have the maximum time period punishment of 7 years. So the law says that if the sections are till 7 years or above 7 years, then the accused will not be granted bail from the police station. And if the sections are such that the maximum imprisonment is till 7 years, then the accused can be granted bail from the police station.
Okay.
So that, ambiguous nature of the law and that kind of loopholes which are there in our law has allowed these accused to get bail time and again from the court. But we are talking about his conduct. He is a grown-up person. He knew that he was coming out from the wrong carriageway, that too on the right-hand side, not from the left-hand side. His conduct could have taken life, which has unfortunately happened. That's why police will be adding these sections.
Absolutely. Priyank, I just want to thank you for staying put there, getting us all those inputs. We'll continue and we'll make this a Times Now campaign because that is the need of the hour. Unless you ensure that such sections and such offences become non-bailable, nothing can change in the country. For the moment, as I thank you, I'll also quickly take this opportunity to introduce a panel of guests. PK Jain Saab, who's a former additional DGP of the state of Maharashtra, with us. We also have Rajni Gandhi, General Secretary of TRACS Road Safety NGO. And it's a pleasure to have Shilpa Mittalji. She, remember, is the sister of Siddharth Sharma. In the 2016 hit-and-run case that involved a juvenile who was driving a Mercedes in Delhi. Shilpa, thank you for your time. With your permission and PK Jain and Rajni Gandhi's permission also, I want to listen into what the cops have said so far. And this is also an appeal going out to all our viewers who are calling into our newsrooms. Our numbers, remember, continuously are flashing on the bottom of your screens. We are going to be taking your calls live. Just allow us another 30 seconds. I want to listen into what the cops have said so far in the entire case and how did this man get a bail so quickly from the police station itself.
सामने से एक ब्लैक कलर की एक्सयूवी 300 गाड़ी थी जो रॉन्ग साइड आ रही थी और जिसकी वजह से ये एक्सीडेंट हुआ और मौके पर ही मृतक की मृत्यु। देखिए, ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस अभी तक पेश नहीं कर पाया है एक्यूज्ड।
So the police is saying कि अभी तक अपना ड्राइवर्स लाइसेंस भी पेश नहीं कर पाए। Maybe this only happens in India and such a person is allowed to be behind the wheels. We have Manoj, Colonel Chadhaji, Captain Jaslok, Jaspal, who's joining us on the phone line. These are all our viewers. And again, Jain Saab, Gandhi ma'am and Shilpa ji, with your permission, I quickly want to take a few callers. First to Manoj. Manoj, thank you for calling here. What would you want to say today to this absolutely horrifying story?
I was really shocked to hear this kind of news. I mean, it's really disturbing as in fact, because the one person negligence, it was snuffed out other life. Okay. And second thing, I'm not sure how this, the Haryana police, how they can issue a bail to the person who drive on the wrong side. And other thing is that he doesn't have a... So, this kind of news was keep on heading on from morning. So I was really shocked to hear this. And one thing, how his mother will be acting to these all things.
Absolutely.
That's it for mine, because I was really disturbed.
Yes, Manoj, even our hearts goes out, to the family. We've heard the mother, who's very, very devastated. Thank you for calling in. Colonel Chadhaji, good evening, sir. What would you want to say?
Yeah, good evening. Thank you very much for the opportunity. Number one, I think it's a very cut and dry case. The man was driving from the wrong side. He hit someone, he killed him, and the case is shut, absolutely closed. It's evidence, everything is there on record, I'm sure. So there's no question of him not being guilty. Number two, the fact that he got bail so quickly, in 60 minutes from the police station and no liquor test was done on him, obviously there's some connection, and that is where the police is culpable as much as the driver himself. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for calling us. And please keep the calls coming, because it's only your voice, remember, that can actually make a difference, that can make this system wake up and do something. Also, Captain Jaspal, who's been patiently holding the phone line, he's calling us from Rohtak. Sir, good evening. What is it that you would want to say?
Good evening. I have always maintained in such cases the family must get a compensation of 5 crores. This family must go to the Supreme Court under Article 32 and say this is what has happened to us. These policemen who were on duty should be charged with the same offence under previously 120B, deep-rooted criminal conspiracy. And you will find the result. Now, as far as the other pillars of the democracy are concerned, 2 have collapsed. You have seen yourself. 4th one is very, very upright, is responsive. And the 4th pillar has become a laptop. You people are not to be blamed. Your owners decide whether you have to be pillar or you have to be a laptop. Thanks for giving me an opportunity. Bye.
Captain, sir, you make a lot of important points. Thank you. Appreciate, your concern there. Radha and Mr. Subramaniam also calling us from Thane and from Chennai, respectively. I'll just speak to Radha quickly and then go to our panel of guests. And then, Mr. Subramaniam, I'm going to come to you. Radha, what would you want to say?
This really shows that money has worked instead of justice. All the police guys all have been paid hefty sums to completely allow this man to walk scot-free after murdering like this. Rash driving, murderers who drive on the streets of India, they really have to be arrested and put through a rigmarole that they really realize what they've done is wrong. But money buys everything. It's really a shame. They're rich. With their money, they completely buy justice. This is what is happening.
Radha, I think I echo that sentiment again. Thank you so much. And we must tell our viewers that there was a BJP sticker plastered on the bonnet of this car. So does this belong to someone who's related to the BJP? We still do not know. But I'm just trying to put the facts of the story out in the public domain. Shilpa, let's begin by asking you, when you look at this video, when you saw this video for the first time, Shilpa, what are the thoughts that crossed your mind?
Oh, I was devastated. I was like, it's so sad to watch all these videos again and again. I haven't watched my brother's video even till today, but it just accidentally happened that I saw this video, and I have not been normal since I've seen it. It's heartbreaking to see something. And see, who knows that when you're driving and you won't even come back? It's a 23-year-old boy. His life has been cut short because somebody wanted to take a fancy ride on the wrong side of the road, and that too on the first lane. I mean, who can imagine that? I mean, and I think it's a collective failure, again, of a society at large, because obviously it's the parents giving the car. Secondly, it's the legal system that we have, which is the police involved, where they don't put charges correctly. That is exactly why it's happening. And thirdly, the judiciary. I would definitely blame everything on the judiciary, because people have been getting away with such kind of incidents and murders. People think it's okay. It's a jail-free card given by the government. So government, unless they pull their socks up, the society is going to be like a jungle. And we do have a jungle. Look at this. No, you are talking about this, the capital of the country, near the capital of the country. And there is somebody riding on the wrong side and the first lane. So, this is not anything apart from, no fear of law or any kind of empathy towards the society. It's a failure of a society. Because I'm sure he's not doing it for the first time. I'm sure this is not happening.
There are multiple challans. The last challan that he got, Shilpa, I've just figured out, was on the 25th of August.
Exactly. Again, the question is, when the traffic cop caught him and gave him a challan, I mean, why didn't he arrest him? Didn't he check? He has multiple challans. And aren't you supposed to do your job? And this is not the only person who's doing this. Gurugram has many cases coming up every second day. Only a few get reported. Now tell me one thing, why the mother or the media Every time the media has to get involved for the police to take action. And how many places can media be?
Yes.
And why media has to tell police to do their job? Only when the cameras are on, they will put the strict, sections.
Yes.
Why don't they do their job correctly? You know, why people have to beg, cry? Imagine a mother who's just lost a son. She will be exactly like in my position, that you can't even grieve your, family member who has just died. And you'll be just running behind the police stations. It's heartbreaking every time this happens, and you deal with these, sorry to say, heartless people in the police station, and they talk to you as if nothing new has happened. Some of them joke about it, and some of them just take a bribe and then just walk away.
Yes, and you know why what Shilpa says resonates, PK Jain Saab and Rajni, with everyone is because she has suffered that very system. It is said, Jain Saab, in the country that the system is the punishment. But why does it take, so much of an outrage, the video going viral, media talking about it? Only then will the police wake up, Jain Saab? How do you look at this?
Deepthi, I have only to hang my head in shame at the behavior of the concerned policeman. There is no reason, if a person does not have a license and he has been challaned multiple times, it is the bounded duty of the concerned police officer to challan even the people who own the car, that is his parents or whoever it is. So the very fact that they've not done it only should challan to whom? This guy who does not even have a license, what is the value of the challan for him? So it is grossly wrong as far as that part is concerned. Secondly, I have spent 34 years in my in police. I am yet to see a case where a guy walks out of a fatal accident, even a fatal accident in this case, which is made out to be, which is a accidental fatal accident. They are walking out of the police station within 60 minutes. Apparently, it is somebody high and mighty in the government, or the money. I can only presume two things.
So, Jain Saab, are you saying this is unusual? This is unusual by every standard. Unusual. No drug test, no alcohol test.
Number one. Number two, the third thing is that you have already done my job. His blood test should have been done. He should not have been allowed to go till the time he produces his driving license. If he has not done all those things, there's no question of giving bail. Bail to whom? And the police officer I heard on your channel just now saying that he's been asked to produce a driving license. He has not been. He should hang his bloody head in shame. I mean, the guy has no right to be there in his job as a supervisory officer.
And I don't know why is no one acting, Jain Saab? These are important questions that you have just raised.
The officer who has done this, the investigating officer and the officer in charge of that police station must be sent home. They have no place in the police department. Unfortunately.
What if they are a part of this entire cover-up? Jain Saab, both you and I know, and I think Shilpa will also vouch for this, that you become a part of this entire cover-up, and that's the reason why such people survive. Rajni ji, you look at a lot of these road safety issues. Now, the first response when you saw this video and when you realized that the accused in the case has got a bail in flat 60 minutes, what was that?
Actually, you have raised 5 major questions already, and the answers are lying over there. We have covered one of the story last time also, when a boy with his mother was died on the Meerut Expressway, and the wrong side driver was there again. So cases are again and again in the same way. The point is very, very well said by the captain also and Jain Saab recently as well, that how that driver who has got the last ticket on 25th of August and have a good history of making challans and traffic violations have been reached to this exercise. So that's the question, and that gives us a policy revive that we require an offender training system. We have to know which type of drivers are on road, because if we are leaving one by one all the drivers with small penalties and not taking actions for the small violations, they will definitely take this type of step and they will do this type of actions on road, which will definitely give us such mirans on roads.
Absolutely. So that is, and Rajni, I'm just interrupting you here. Jain Saab, I've completely run out of time, but there is this breaking update that has just come in, forced by this relentless coverage on Times Now. Now the cops have given a deadline. They've given a deadline to the accused in the case to produce his DL. What kind of a joke is that, sir? 10 seconds, then we'll need to close the show.
As I said, it's an absolute joke. The guy who's done it, the officer supervising, he was a senior officer. He should hang his head in shame. Only one thing, Deepthi, I wanted to close my closing remarks. I forgot to mention it last time.
Yes, sir.
See, almost 50% of the accidents on the Indian roads happen due to not your mistake. It is the other mistake on the other side.
Yes.
I would only send a word of caution to all the people on the road, the drivers especially, that they should be extra careful while driving. I mean,
But what do you do if you meet someone like a Kuldeep Thakur? What do you do? I mean, is it our fault that you have people like Kuldeep Thakur on the roads?
I'm saying,
is it our fault, sir, that you have people like Kuldeep Thakur who don't even have a DL, who have multiple challans? You have a system that does not want to even apprehend them. Forget the fact that they will ever be convicted in such cases. That is the problem. Jain Saab, we look forward to talking to you again. I've completely run out of time. But this is a promise that Times Now will continue to raise these voices. Rajni, Shilpa, and also Jain Saab, thank you so much for speaking to us as we quickly head into a break.